All right, let's start by decoupling the video processor from the video encoder. Now, I'm going to show you a very cool trick. I'm not going to manually create an interface. I'm going to have IntelliJ extract an interface from our video encoder class. Let me show you. So you put the caret on the class name, right-click, go to Refactor, and then select Extract. Now, this is not visible in my recording window, so I'm going to bring it from the top. Refactor, Extract, Interface. Now, here's the name that IntelliJ is suggesting, Video Encoder, but we already have a class with the same name. So I'm going to select this option, rename original class, and use interface where possible. Now we're going to rename this implementation to, let's say, X Video Encoder. Let's imagine this is the name of the algorithm that we have used for encoding the videos. Now over here, we can select the methods that we want to include in our interface. So our class currently has only a single method. We want to declare this in our interface as a contract. So let's select this and then click Refactor. See what happened. This class is renamed to X Video Encoder. It's implementing our new interface. We can press Command and B on Mac or Control B on Windows to jump to the declaration of this interface. So we have a very simple, lightweight interface with the encode method. Now back to our video processor. This class is still instantiating our video encoder. We want to apply the dependency injection principle and take this responsibility from this class. So here we can declare a private field, private video encoder, that is our new interface. And then we're going to initialize this using our constructor. So we're going to use constructor injection. Now let's bring up the generate palette and generate a constructor for this class. So in this constructor, we're going to initialize our new field. There you go. Now finally, we're going to remove this line from here. So that was the first step. Now I'm going to pause the recording and use the same technique to decouple the video processor from video database and email service. So now in our video processor, we have 3 private fields, video encoder that you saw before. We also have video database as well as notification service. So I decided to call this interface notification service as opposed to email service because we're going to have different kinds of notifications. So let's take a quick look at our video database interface. We only have this method, store, and there is a class called SQL Video Database that implements this interface. So in this implementation, we're storing our video metadata in a SQL database. If you're not familiar with SQL databases, I have a comprehensive course on this topic that you can find on my website. Now back to our video processor. So here we have these private fields. We're initializing all these fields using our constructor, so constructor injection. Now look at the implementation of the process method. So here we're no longer creating objects, and as a result, our implementation is simpler and cleaner. We're simply telling the encoder, hey, encode this video. Then we tell our database, hey, store this video. And finally, we use our notification service to notify the user who uploaded this video. Now, finally, let's have a quick look at our main class. So this is where we are creating our video processor object. Now we need to pass these concrete implementations as dependencies. So in this application, we're using X Video Encoder. Tomorrow, if you come up with a new algorithm for encoding our videos, we'll create a new class that implements that interface and inject that new object here. Our video processor is not affected at all. Similarly, we're using a SQL database for storing the metadata about our videos. And finally, we're using this email service for notifying our users. Let's say we're using Gmail to send emails. If you're not happy with Gmail, we can always replace it with a different email provider. Or we can use a different kind of notification channel. We can send push notifications or text messages or all of these. Of course, if we want to support multiple notification channels, instead of passing one object here, we need to pass a list of notification channels. Now, one last thing before we finish this video. Back to our video processor. We have completely decoupled this class from its dependencies, and this gives us an additional benefit, and that is unit testing. So with these changes, we can test this class in isolation without being dependent to a real database or a real video encoder or a real email service. This is what we call unit testing, and that's a topic for an entirely different course.